Okay, welcome to part 8 of my Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. In our last Let's Play, Link entered the Palace of Darkness and rescued the first of 7 maidens imprisoned by the wizard Ganem in efforts to build a link between the light and the dark worlds. So, in the Palace of Darkness, Link not only rescued the first maiden, but also found the magic hammer, a very essential piece of equipment that will let us access most of the rest of the Dark World, honestly. So, we saw these stakes in the ground before. We were unable to do anything. Now, using the magic hammer, you can pound them flat and bypass them. So if we head west from here, you'll see that the landscape is very similar to the Light World, only this is no longer Link's house. This is now a bomb shop. So you can talk to the gentleman here. He'll sell you 30 bombs for 100 rupees. Not really the best buy in the world, but if you need 30 bombs, you can get 30 bombs that way. But you can see that, mysteriously, there's a lot more room on his carpet to be showcasing his wares. I suppose we'll have to come back here later in the game. So head south into the swamp. You can see, just like in the Light World where we bombed this area to expose the fairies fountain, we can also bomb the wall here. It's a little bit more inconspicuous. And it doesn't make the sound whenever you tap it with the sword, but you can break that wall open if you use the bombs. So this guy, hidden here in this cave, gives you 300 rupees. I'm not sure if this wall... Yeah, this wall does bust open. Oh yeah, and inside there are even more rupees for us to pick up. 4 treasure chests, each one contains 20 rupees. So make sure you're ready to pick up 380 rupees before you head in there, lest you waste all of the treasure. Those green enemies there that were dropping bombs, look like floating mushrooms, they're called Zeros. Sort of like Zorro, except with an eye. Zeros. So we'll fight the Taros here. Here was a fortune teller's hut in the Light World. It is now a shop. There's nothing in there we need, so we'll go ahead and head out. These enemies that kind of look like Octoroks, the ones that I already killed, are called Slay Rocks. They're very similar. I'm not quite sure what the pumpkin ones are. I can't remember that one. I'll see if it comes to me later in the playthrough. But we're going to go ahead and jump into Lake Hylia. Avoid the Zeros if you can, but you remember the landscape looks a little bit different. This was an island in the Light World, and using the magic mirror, we can transport ourselves to the Light World. Which brings us right here onto this platform with a buzz block. So take out the buzz block, and we'll pick up a piece of heart. I believe that one might be 13? I want to say it's 13. So we're going to want to go back to the Light World. There are a few more things we can do right now. So avoid the pumpkin enemy, and anywhere you've got flat ground you can use the move. It doesn't matter if it's solid ground in the other world, the teleporter will still be there. And we're going to go to the Pond of Happiness, that's what it's called. So now we have 789 rupees, so we have a lot that we can throw in and get upgrades. So we'll ignore the fortune for big trouble. upgraded to 35 bombs. Do it 2 more times. We'll go ahead and upgrade arrows to 50. So we're going to need 400 to upgrade the arrows fully, and 200 to upgrade the bombs. So we're not going to be able to complete this today. We'll have to make one more stop in order to fully upgrade our bomb bag and quiver. Okay, so 50 bombs. Our bombs are completely upgraded now. That's all that we can hold. So you don't have to know ahead of time that you can only get 50 bombs. If you go ahead and donate and the options come up, you can choose bombs, but she won't be able to do anything for you there. And she gives you your rupees back, so you kind of have to, if you want to save time, you need to know what you're going in for there. She also references her friend at the Waterfall of Wishing in Zora's Domain. If you recall, that's where we upgraded our fighter shield to the red shield, and also upgraded our boomerang for the magic boomerang. So this will be the last upgrade that we're able to do at this point in time. We just don't have quite enough rupees to do one more. I take it back. I was mistaken. We are now upgraded to 70 arrows. So we are fully upgraded now. Either I did math wrong or she granted more than I thought each time. Doesn't matter. We have our maximum number of bombs and arrows, 50 and 70. So now we're going to want to head back into the Dark World. You can use the teleporter that we left. And I might be mistaken. We might have to head back into there again, because there is no ladder here. Now, if you recall, a couple people referenced the bridge at Hyrule Castle, or not really the bridge, but the gate, saying that the link between the two worlds there was weakened. So, one quick way to make it back into the Dark World is to head through the main gate at Hyrule Castle. so far that is the weakest point between the two worlds. So avoid the red soldier here who has a spear and moves fairly quickly. And just charge through the gate. And you will be transported to the Dark World, right at the bottom of the Pyramid of Power. So there are a few other things that we can do in the Dark World now that we have access to the magic hammer. I'm going to go ahead and equip it again. Drive the stakes down. And we're going to continue heading west from the bomb shop. So we will dispose of the Ropa there. Take out the Moblins. And the trees are a little bit different here. If you notice, they seem to have eyes and follow you around. But they're not the friendliest. Sometimes they're loaded up with bombs, but they will talk to you. So he lets you know that bombs are effective against Hinox. In here you'll find another fairy fountain if you need it, just like in the Light World. So this one isn't quite as friendly. There are two other trees here that you can speak with. Go ahead and clear out their snouts there. So if he got turned into a tree in the Lost Woods and went through the transporter there, how did he end up here? Anyway, if you remember in the Light World there was a ledge here, and you couldn't access this part where the rope is. If you use the magic mirror, you will transport and be on top of that ledge. So, inexplicably, there is a landmine on here. You can run on top of it if you wish to blow it up without taking damage, but I can't imagine the point of there being one landmine here. Inside the cave, you'll find a piece of heart. I believe that's 14. Head back through the teleporter. And we are going to go to the Dark World equivalent of the clearing outside of the village. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. In the clearing, we see a very rooted individual. Who enjoyed playing the flute in his original homeworld. He buried his flute before he left in search of the golden power with some flower seeds, and he wants to know if we can find it. Gives us a shovel. So let's equip. You can see that the shovel shows up in the third row here of your tools. Make sure the magic mirror is equipped, and we're going to go to that grotto, or not grotto. We're going to go look at that clearing and go in search of his mirror. So just in case you do what I did, make sure you're far enough away from the from the spirit in the clearing to be able to transport back. if you're too close, you'll get stuck whenever the animal's clear and he disappears. It is very possible that that is a reflection of the young boy who went to the Golden Land. Anyway, you'll find the flute if you dig around the flowers. And sure enough, we find it right here in the top left corner of the grove. So once we pick up the flute, it replaces the shovel in our inventory, and we can head back to the dorm room. And the boy turns into a tree. Very possible that he died. But if you recall, there was a man in Kakariko Village who said his son left in search of the golden power. So, we can head into this first building right here with a picture of the arrow on it. Basically, the game is, you want to use your arrows, and you want to hit the squids in the back. They look very similar to the squids that you actually collect and save in A Link Between Worlds. But I'll go ahead and show you the game real quick. So pay 20 rupees and you can play the game. So you have a finite number of arrows and a multiplier, but each time you hit a hand, the multiplier goes down. So I'm out of arrows, I spent 20 and I got 12 back. You can win some rupees that way if you practice and get pretty good. But we're unable to make it into the village. It is blocked by this very heavy stone. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and use the magic mirror, and we'll transport back to the light world. And the wizard's search efforts have increased since we had the event in the tower. So there are a lot more castle guard going about. I believe the older man who was missing his son was in the bar. If we talk to this gentleman. Oh, I was mistaken. How about this one? So we break the bad news to the man, and he lets us know that we can keep the flute kind of in memory of his son, and asks us to play the flute at the village square. So now Kakariko Village is patrolled by soldiers, but we can make our way to the square and play the flute. And the bird wakes up. So now anytime we play the flute, the bird will pick us up and take us anywhere we want to go. It's a quick way to make it around the overworld. So we don't have anywhere we need to go at the moment. We'll go ahead and just stay at number 3 here. But we now have the magic hammer that lets us access somewhere we couldn't access before. So make your way over to the blacksmiths. And there's a stake jutting up out of the ground right here that kept us from jumping down that hole into the well. I went through the wrong door. We'll try that one more time. This time I'll be going further into the cave, and there is some sort of altar here, and you can interact with it, but the only real effective thing to do with this altar is to sprinkle magic powder on it. And for lack of a better word, a small purple demon appears, who curses you for waking him up, but really means to thank you. So your punishment is that whenever you try to use magic, you'll now use half as much magic at the same potency. So in other words, your magic meter doubles. It sounds like a real punishment. There's somewhere else we can access with the magic hammer, here in the village, or on the outskirts of it at least. You can hit this one right here, but there really isn't anything to find in those bushes. And honestly, I don't know why that's there at all. But it turns out that there's another place that we can hit, and it is right there. You can see those stakes right up near the top of the screen underneath the life bar. But you can't make it through that, dark black block. But we can head through the Lost Woods and come out into that clearing right there. So using the stake, we can lift this rock and expose another teleporter, transporter to the door. So we're in the same deal we were before. We can't lift this rock, but now there aren't any trees blocking us. So clear the bushes and watch out for the tree there. It doesn't seem to want to talk to us. And we can head south into the Village of Outcasts. Sort of like a ghost town. And in fact, it really is a ghost town because there are ghosts. Stay away from the people you'll see in the streets. They will chase you down and so look for treasure chests. In this one, there is 300 rupees. And if you look right here, there's also a Mario statue. Or painting, rather. Mario painting. Here was the town square in the Light World, but it's now a gargoyle guarding what looks like a staircase leading down. If you actually pull, you will expose a staircase leading down into a dungeon here in the Village of Outcasts. That will be dungeon number 4. So I'm going to take out this canvas here. And there's another game right here, and you can tell from the picture by the door that it is a treasure chest game. So you can pay 30 rupees and open 2 treasure chests, I believe. And it's completely random what is in these treasure chests. So I found 100 rupees and a heart. So, you have to leave and come back, but there is one major treasure in there. So keep playing until you find it, and you'll know when you find it. It is a piece of heart. So, I'm up 40 rupees and a piece of heart there, so I think I'm okay with that game. Watch out for the thieves. The moblin. This used to be the nice old lady's house who had all the chickens. You can see what look like some sort of chicken skeletons there. I believe there's another treasure chest. No, this is a store. The other treasure chest is in a building that we have to bomb to get open there. So we'll fire one back out of here, avoid the ghosts. Maybe pose? I'm not sure of that. People without rupees are not welcome in the Village of Outcasts. So, this is another unmarked door. It doesn't sound like you can blast it open, but sure enough, you can throw a bomb and blow the door open. And down here we'll find another treasure chest with 300 rupees inside. So no secret room down here where we can fill up on supplies. That's pretty much the Village of Outcasts. So, people say you can hear a girl calling for help under the statue. So, something that we should investigate. We can't head to the blacksmith's house because of these rocks right here. And I believe in the same vein, I'm not sure if we can hop down over the ledge here. I might be able to. But there's a small frog there too that we also can't reach at the moment. Yeah, we can hop down over the ledge here. Once we get a stronger glove, we'll be able to lift these heavy rocks. I'm going to go ahead and head up these stairs. If I don't keep hopping off the ledge, that'll be the main goal. Okay, it turns out I don't have to climb up here at all. There's really no point. We can play a game here, and it is a rather expensive game. It is the Treasure Field, where we can pay 80 rupees to dig up as many treasures as we can in 30 seconds, so it's kind of like a speed game. So once you're ready, make sure you have enough rupees, because you're probably not going to get it on the first try. He'll equip the shovel there in your Y button. I think you just press Y, yep. And you try to basically dig as much as you can in the time frame you're given. You can see the countdown there in the top corner of the screen. You're lucky if you find some red rupees, but just like the treasure chest game, it's completely random. You never know what you're going to find in the time frame, and if you're lucky, you'll find a piece of heart. So we didn't get lucky that time. You have to leave the screen and come back so that everything will repopulate. Let's try one more time looking for that piece of heart. So I found a lot of rupees there, so that wasn't that bad of a thing if I don't end up finding it. Found at least 50. I haven't been at least 70. I haven't been counting all the green ones or anything, or all the blue ones, just some of them. So you're not going to find anything underneath the skull, so there isn't any point. But I at least made money that turn. So you'll notice we're using the shovel, like the shovel that we got from the boy in the forest clearing. It isn't necessary to have his shovel in order to do this game, they provide you with one. So if you lose it and get the flute instead, it's not a big deal. Like I said before, your treasure is completely random. You can't dig up, you can only kind of dig left and right, so try not to waste 2 strikes with your shovel like I did. There it is! Completed our heart container. So keep at it, eventually you'll find it in just a random spot somewhere in the plot of land there. Okay, continuing along with exploring the Dark World for now, I'm going to go ahead and transport back to the Light World because I want to head back into the Village of Outcasts, and there isn't any other way that we can get to it at this point in the game, except for, I think there isn't any other easy way. This is the fastest way to get to it, is what I'm getting at. So I'm going to head back into the Lost Woods for now. And we're going to go look for that teleport transporter. So the soldiers are even looking for us in the woods, too. Maybe not looking for us specifically, but we definitely pique their interest if we show up there. Also, you can head up into the woods right here. The Lost Woods are known as Skull Woods in, for good reason. Various rib cages and skulls and other bones line the floor of the forest there. I also kind of consider it a difficult. There can be challenging. I like to do the dungeon here in the Village of Outcasts before that one. So here you can see a crystal ball on the little platform there, and sure enough we can go talk to a fortune teller in the Dark World. But I'm not going to waste my rubies on that. Okay, next thing we're going to look at is the lumberjack's hut. And if you remember, when we passed by, they were sawing at a tree, and they said that something seemed a little off about the tree, almost like it was hollow inside. So time has passed, and they're probably finished sawing away at that tree now. Before we do that, I'm going to check out this building right here. So it's just another shop. There's nothing really in there that we need to see too awful bad. But I'm going to go ahead and equip the magic mirror, and we are going to transport to the light world. Now you can see the tree's a little bit different color, and it turns out that it kind of looks like there's a hole right there in the tree. So if you do a Pegasus shoes dash at the tree, it'll break off the leaves on the top and show that it is completely hollow inside. You can walk up and fall down that hole. So inside, here are a few fairies and a piece of heart. Which, if we're keeping track, that might be number 17? It might be completely off there. There's another piece of heart here. I can't seem to recall if we can make it to that one yet. No, we don't. We don't have a cape. So we'll have to get a cape in order to get that one. And it turns out I have an inkling of an idea of where we can find a cape. If you check out where the sanctuary was in the light world, there is no church here, but there is a cave. And it turns out there is a little bit of an altar here. He'll tell you a story if you pay him 20 rupees. But he saw something beautiful inside the Pyramid of Power before someone sealed the door, and it turns out that a regular bomb will not break the seal. So we need a special bomb. There's a small set of steps here that lead up to a platform. It doesn't really go anywhere, so if we check it out in the light world, you can see that that same platform's there, but the steps aren't. Inside we see a cracked wall. And it's hollow. And we have piece of heart number 18, I believe. There are 6 left in the game to find, if that is 18. I may have lost count. Okay, be careful about where you enter the transporter and what angle. I got warped back because I was in the middle of a wall. Thankfully, Zelda doesn't transport you into a wall because that would be extremely painful. So I'm going to go ahead and transport again. And you can see that there's a bush here that lets you into this area. You can go ahead and hit that set of stones there, but there really isn't any point to it. If we use... You can see that it's blocked also by these black stones, but it doesn't really stop us from actually getting in this area right here. We can use the magic mirror, and it'll transport us to somewhere where we couldn't reach otherwise. Honestly, it's all blocked by those black stones. So we could come back later in the game, but it turns out that we can get there right now. And I think in strike it fairly hard. I don't think we can push that tombstone back. Yep, that's it. You have to crash into it with the running dash. So now we have the magic cape. So there are a few other things that we can do at this point in the game. I'm not going to go ahead and do all of them right now. I'll save one for later just because it's a little bit out of our way in order to do that. But for now, I'll go ahead and do one. Now, I can't remember. No, the flute does not work in the Dark World. It only works in the Light World. I thought that's the way it worked. They kind of changed that with Between Worlds, where you can come find you both. So here we're on the other side of the bridge, and there's no way to make it across right now. So I'm going to go ahead and transport back to There's somewhere else we can reach because we have the magic hammer. In the Light World, just north of this pond where we threw the fish earlier, there's a small area that is blocked off by these wooden stakes. And in here, if we avoid the Octoroks, we can pick up this rock and head through another transporter to the Dark World. So this brings us out right here in the swamp. We were already here before, but there is somewhere else that we can access from this area. So avoid the Zeros, green and purple. And we're going to head to the Dark World's equivalent of the Desert of Mystery. Here they call it the Swamp of Evil. But unlike the desert where you can just walk in, this is actually completely closed off, and there is no passage into the Swamp of Evil from any part of the Dark World. It's completely surrounded by rock, hills, everything. So you can see there are stakes here in the ground. Even if you pound these all down, it doesn't do anything at all to let you in. So we'll have to come back to the swamp later. But it does look a little bit different. You can see where this pathway is here. If you remember in the desert, there used to be rocks along here in a raised platform. We can transport ourselves up onto the top of this platform using the mirror. And there is another stone tablet that we can reach right here. So using the Book of Medora, we can translate the stone tablet. It says, hold up the Master Sword and you will get the magic of Bombos. So it rains fire down on all enemies on the screen. And we get the Bombos medallion. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. It's right here. We have Bombos and Quake. There's one more magic medallion we can get. It's the Medallion of Ether. I'm going to go ahead and use the flute. And we can transport ourselves up onto the base of Death Mountain. So, take out the dead rocks here. I'm going to talk to the old man in the mountain. healed up. We need to avoid the falling boulders and make our way up to the Tower of Hera. If you remember earlier in the playthrough, sure enough, there was another one of those stone tablets with the ancient Hylian language on it. So watch where you hit the dead rocks, because you'll block yourself off from paths if you hit them in the way. I'll take out the Tektite. Alright, I'm not messing around here. Tektites are original Legend of Zelda enemies too. So their dialogue changes when you come back. So just to the left of the Tower of Hera is a small rope bridge leading to another platform here. It says something in ancient Hylian. Hold up the Master Sword and you'll get the magic of ether. So it's ice magic. So there are a few other things we can do in the game. At this point, though, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this section of the playthrough, just because it's easier to do certain parts later. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and transport myself right back to the Dark World using this gate right here at Hyrule Castle. And if you remember, the squid, I think it was, that we talked to, said that he found a great beauty inside the Pyramid of Power, but the wall was sealed up. And as it turns out, this right here must be that wall. But we'll need a special bomb in order to break that wall in a future episode of this Let's Play. So thanks for watching episode 8. Tune in next time. We will attempt to clear the Swamp Palace. See you then.